This man started the season fourth on the all-time receiving yards list in NFL history behind Randy Moss, but he's now fifth behind the fourth place Randy Moss because Larry Fitzgerald has passed them all this year. Larry now third place in the all-time receiving yards list. Super Bowl champion, four-time Pro Bowler. Isaac Bruce here on the Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, Isaac.
You too, man. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So before we get to the Rams and what you saw yesterday and talking football and obviously your foundation, you sit down and you say, it's interesting that we're talking about the Giancarlo Stanton trade because you live where?
In Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. And then I asked you if you were a Marlins fan, and you said?
I said no.
And what, you're a fan of which team?
Boston Red Sox.
There you go, Brockman.
What's up, Isaac?
What's going on, bro?
You get it.
I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan for one reason. I can blame it on Ricky Prohl. You know, he's a Jersey kid.
Okay.
And he would always come in the locker room talking about the Yankees this and the Yankees that. So, you know, I went and found out who was the Yankees' rival at that time, and it was the Red Sox, and I became a Red Sox fan.
Why would you do that to Ricky Prohl?
Well, I got tired of hearing about the Yankees in the locker room, so I wanted to be a Red Sox fan. I started learning the players, and I was kind of disappointed that they didn't get in the Stanton sweepstakes.
Well,
so.
I think that
They tried.
Well, they tried. I just think that Stanton didn't want to be, for whatever reason, in the Boston sweepstakes.
I don't get that. I mean,
for some reason. It's funny that we talk baseball here because a couple years ago when the draft was in Chicago, we at the NFL Network were invited to throw out a first pitch for the Cubs.
Okay.
Marshall Faulk, because the Cardinals became his adopted team, refused to throw out a first pitch in a Cubs uniform.
No.
But Kurt, who's from Iowa, said, I'm all in.
Wow.
And put on the Cubs uniform and threw out the first pitch.
Wow. I don't think I could have done it either. I mean, being in St. Louis for 14 years,
right?
You kind of have to like the Cardinals at some point. So I kind of felt in favor with them. So I don't want to ruin my visits to St. Louis at all. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
Isaac Bruce here on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you think about what Larry Fitzgerald is doing right now?
It's awesome, man. I think he's had a great career. Guy is steady, always been productive. I saw him this summer at the Hall of Fame at Kurt's induction, and we were sitting next to each other, and I knew he was close to me as far as receiving yards are concerned, and I kind of wanted to trip him up and say, dude, go ahead and retire, man. It's enough.
Yeah,
but,
right.
He's had a tremendous career. I'm very pleased with what he's done.
And what about Antonio Brown, the current
awesome, stellar
wide receiver in this league?
You just look at him and what he can do with the football in his hands. Even before, he's a great route runner. Guy can take a punch, start and stop with the best of them, and I love seeing him play.
Why do you think a receiver's never won MVP in this league?
That's interesting. I mean, I think, maybe one should. I mean, if they separated the two, it's amazing how the light is always shined on the quarterbacks. But, without a guy like Antonio or Larry Fitzgerald, it's hard for those guys to really develop. So maybe they should just have a best quarterback of the league that year and a MVP of the league. So, and a receiver could win it.
Well, having worked, Isaac Bruce here on the Rich Eisen Show, working with Marshall and Kurt, as I have for so many years, when we talk about those championship years, they always mention you first. They do. And Pace comes, kind of right behind you.
Oh, yeah. He's
right
the first
there.
guy that I mentioned, Orlando. I mean, without him, we can't have 7-step drops. We can't open holes for Marshall to run. I can't get down the field like I did. And he's the one guy that I say we just couldn't live without him.
Well, they say the same thing about you. What was it like being there and then those guys show up? What was that season like for you?
Some 1994, being here in LA and then, making the transition to St. Louis, I took a lot of punches and had some individual success, but as far as winning was concerned, I didn't experience much of it, but I was fortunate to see all of those guys come in and watch them develop and turn into all-pros, Pro Bowlers, and Super Bowl champions. So just having them with me in a huddle, it made me feel even better about my career and my development at that time.
Right. Well, when Marshall showed up, though, what was your first impression of him?
Oh, I'd seen Marshall. I mean, I think he came in '99. We played them in Indy either '95 or '96. Mm-hmm. And, he was the guy over there in Indy, but he was pretty much the only guy at that time. And, when he came in the locker room, I was like, okay, I think I have some help now. Mm-hmm. And, it's funny, DeMarco Farr, one of my teammates, he says, no, you say the defense, we have help now. So I was really excited about him coming to the team and just everything that I knew that he could do. I just didn't realize how well-rounded he was as a football player. I knew he could run the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield was something that he really added to us.
Isaac Bruce here on the Rich Eisen Show. What was it like when Trent Green went down?
Oh man, from a him, we had started to develop a friendship, and just to see your friend down on the ground writhing in pain, and knowing what he had went through as far finally getting an organization or offense that he could call his own, and really never having that opportunity to lead that team the way he did. I was heartbroken for him. So, and hopefully it eased a little bit with winning the championship for him, but. I knew the guy wanted to play. He was a very tough competitor.
And then Kurt comes strolling in. Yeah. What would you think when Kurt?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
None.
I was surprised just like everyone else, and shook up the world.
It really is an incredible. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And obviously, Philly fans are kind of hoping right now that Foles could be their Kurt Warner or Jeff Hostetler.
Well,
we'll
see. We'll see.
What do you think?
Honestly, I won't focus on Philly. I'm still going to be focused on the Rams and what we have before us. But it's going to be tough. I mean, I'm sure Foles is going to get all the reps in practice now, and he was there for that very reason. And hopefully Wentz is okay. But who knows? Who knows what what's in store for Philly?
But you saw them with your own two eyes. You were at the game yesterday, right? Okay. Yeah. Just seeing their offense, seeing what they do in person. I mean, do you think that that's a plug-and-play situation that a veteran quarterback like Foles can just step into and perform?
As far as plug-and-play, I don't think so, because I think Wentz is a very special guy. I think he has all the tools to make up to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I think some things will have to be adjusted for Foles. I think they'll run the ball a lot more than they did, but Wentz is a special player.
Isaac Bruce here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what do you think the Rams can do this year? Just this year?
Well,
how far do you think you can go?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this game this week versus the Seahawks. I mean, I think it's a defining moment for the season, and going up there with the challenges of having to face Russell Wilson again and that defense that they bring. Winning that game, I mean, I think we're almost guaranteed a home playoff game. And when you get a home playoff game, it's tough for a team to come in and win on your home turf. So I'm excited about it. I think the creativity in the offense has really been special this year, and hats off to Coach McVay for all that he's brought.
So what do you think he has brought? What are you seeing?
Number one, the creativity. I think he has confidence and creativity. When you have that in an offense, you can take a defense and put them on their heels and get them off their toes. So you're not as predictable with what you're trying to accomplish on offense. So he's brought that into the mix, and he's brought a group of receivers that can get down the field and take the top off the defense and kind of open up that running game.
Well, what we do in the national media is we make comparisons, and we throw around words and phrases, and that greatest show on surf got thrown around.
Yeah.
Do you see any similarities here?
Maybe with the creativity a little bit, but I think we need to just upgrade the personnel just a little bit more, and maybe we can start making comparisons in it from that standpoint. But not right now.
So where do the upgrades that you see?
But just probably up front. We'll probably get a little bit more protection, better protection up front, and maybe on the perimeter a little bit.
Okay.
We'll be ready.
And you think a home playoff game would be, what does it look like? I mean, does it look like a full Coliseum to you, like to the rafters with people with horns on the sides of their helmet and on their chests? I mean, what do you think that looks like, Isaac? For somebody who you were there in the Anaheim days when it ended, go to St. Louis. Now it's back here in Los Angeles, where I don't think a lot of fans could have seen it coming. And then what they had last year looks nothing like what they're being asked to buy back into after last year. So,
well, I think it's the trust. Can Southern California trust the Rams right now? I think that's one of the biggest issues that we're dealing with. Winning at times cures a lot. We could bring that back on, but I think when I see the Melonheads, guys like that, when I saw them in 1994, really let me know that I was in the National Football League, and hopefully we can. Hopefully, the place will be sold out and have a home field advantage like we should have. All
right, let's talk about the Isaac Bruce Foundation. The Flight 300 program provides transportation to college-bound students in need. What's the genesis of this idea?
Well,
Isaac?
I grew up in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and it's funny because when college started for me, I was headed out west, to West LA College, but I ended up ultimately going to Santa Monica City College for a while. And I just didn't have the funds for transportation. So, some kind of way the funds came along, and I purchased an airline ticket, and I got here. Spent my 2 years here before going to Memphis to play ball there. But, I got in a position, by playing football to offer these services to other students who are in need. And it's been going strong, man, since 2006, and I'm very, very pleased with it.
IsaacBruce.org for more information on that. So Santa Monica Community College, isn't that where Steve Smith also wound up playing some of his
Steve
football?
Smith, Chad Johnson.
Chad Johnson is another one. And then I know another receiver from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, very well. His name is Michael Irvin.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas. He'll tell you about that.
Dillard High School. I got to make sure I say Dillard High School.
Okay, very good.
Bring that up.
The only reason why I bring this up is Isaac, you are quite unlike many of the receivers that I've come across.
How so?
Well, you're an even-keeled individual.
Okay.
You don't seem to like to talk about yourself.
It's
very
calculated, man. It's calculated.
Is it really?
I can talk about myself, but when I was on the field, I know there's a time and place for everything.
Right.
And I was all for my team, and I wanted to make sure that if I had any energy where I wasn't getting the football enough, I was going to take it out on the other team and not my team. As far as my coaching, quarterback, or offensive coordinator at that time, I wanted to extend that energy to the guy trying to cover me.
So you never barked at Kurt? You never barked at Kurt Warner?
Not much, no.
Okay.
I think
All right.
we had pretty cool conversations.
Not at March either?
Maybe early, probably 95, 96.
Okay.
We probably
But then
got heated a little
yeah,
bit.
because you usually receivers, because they're so far away from the football, like to be heard if the football doesn't find them in their position.
Well,
Isaac?
if I'm being seen, it's a lot better than being heard. So I trust me, I wanted the football a whole lot more than, I let on. But
Okay.
and I think I got it enough.
All right, let's
I got
talk.
it enough.
But then, before I let you go, let's talk about
Let's
you
talk.
then, okay?
Let's talk.
Because your numbers are Hall of Fame worthy.
Absolutely.
You are not in Canton right now.
Unfortunately.
I know.
Yeah.
So how do you take that, the fact that year in, year out, it's something you can't control, I understand, but how do you approach that? Because I've been around a lot of all-time greats like Harry Carson, who says, I don't want to even know about it anymore, take me out of the mix. And I see others that are just waiting around. Where do you stand, Isaac?
Well, I guess I'm one of those that's waiting around, but I don't think I'm idly waiting around. I mean, it's the culmination of a cap of my football career. It's part of a dream, just like making a Pro Bowl or being in a Super Bowl. And another dream was catching a game-winning catch in a Super Bowl. That was one of my dreams, and ending up at a podium up in Canton, Ohio. That was one of my dreams. So, my numbers are what they are. What I like to do is just point. I just point to those, and that's what, pretty much what I can do right now. I can answer any question that's posed to me about my playing career and my numbers, and I'll answer them as honestly as I can.
Are you one of the best of all time, Isaac Bruce?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I for years I called myself the best. So, yes.
Why do you think some people need to be convinced of that then?
You know what? I'm not sure. I won't say it's the market in which I played. I think as far as intangibles, as far as receivers is concerned, I think I checked every box. Played hard when I had to play hard. Did everything I was asked to do, and I produced on the football field. And if longevity plays a part in that, I played a long time as well.
Yes, you did. If you played in today's game, what would your numbers look like?
Oh man, I'd be probably the second 20,000 yard receiving person. I was the second 15,000 yard receiving person ever. And I'd probably be the second.
Jerry and Isaac.
There you go. Or Isaac and Jerry.
Very good.
Thank you, Rich.
At Isaac Bruce 80. Don't be a stranger if you're out here in Los Angeles coming to some Rams games.
I'll do that, man.
Please, anytime. Would love it. You should come by NFL Network also. Throwing you on the set with Marshall and Kurt.
That'd be the greatest show on turf, right?
Well, we get Torrey. We get them all back together.
Got to bring Big O, though,
Akeem,
man.
right?
Oh, my goodness.
But not Ricky Prohl, right?
Got to bring Ricky, man.
We
wouldn't take photos without Ricky Prohl being in the mix. So.
Unless he talks about the Yankees.
That's right, man. That's right.
Oh, gosh. Isaac Bruce, at Isaac Bruce 80. Check out again, isaacbruce.org. Be part of the Flight 300 program, transportation to college-bound students in need. And boy, do we need more of that these days.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.